And we should be live.
Hello.
Give us a moment while Jess is sharing the stream, and I'm going to hit go live on Instagram, and then we'll be ready to start. All right, we are live.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Live Readings on Tuesday, March 26th. And hi, Jess. So, the winds of change are upon us. Kicking into high gear already after yesterday's full moon and eclipse.
It be eclipsing. Let's just, yep.
Totally.
Eclipsing.
Yeah. So, in perfect divine alignment with that, we are going to be taking a break from our lives due to our work schedules and travel schedules for the next 2 weeks. And we're not quite sure what our schedule will be in April. So stay tuned to email and socials for that. So we will be on today till, again, 12:30, as I have another appointment afterwards today. So if you're joining us and you'd like a reading, let us know. And I'll be hopping back and forth between the feed for Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And I'll be checking both. So just let us know. And I figured today we could even do like a Q&A style show too, Jess, if you wanted to. Just if anyone wants to talk about what's going on cosmically. I'm sure everyone's feeling the energies since last week. We talked about how we'd be on today after the full moon and eclipse, and kind of now in the space between the eclipses where it's usually the most intense and chaotic. So we can offer support not only through readings, but also if you have a question about anything, we're here to answer that as well. Hello, Anara. Thanks for joining us. Reading, please, and thank you. Yes, absolutely. So we can kick it off with you if you'd like. Jess, do you want to share what decks you're going to be using today?
Sure. I've got my Power Animal deck, my
Perfect.
Avalon deck, and Angel deck.
Nice.
I feel like my main task is to not let others' energy affect me so much during this time, because it's really affecting people. And they may or may not even realize that.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly am. And so I'm doing my best to stay in my lane, because like I understand how this stuff works and I knew it was coming. But I didn't quite bargain for how much it's going to affect the people around me, like in my immediate physical space. So I find like that's kind of where my challenge is right now, because I understand how it works. I know what's going on, but others may not. So just navigating that, again, just the navigation of situations is where I'm at. It's like, how long is this going to be? But maybe forever. I don't know. But quite honestly, it's not. I realize that I don't know if I've been affected so much by the events in the sky as being affected by the people around me who have been affected by that. You know what I mean? Like,
I certainly do.
But I just this morning realized where I think the energy is coming from that's affecting me, and I don't think it's exactly my own. It's not my own energy that feels chaotic. It's everyone around me, and so I think my effort would be best or most productive in just keeping myself stable, and hopefully
Perfect.
that will affect the people around me to, be a little more stable.
Yeah. That is a very good strategy.
Because this weekend was woo.
Yeah.
But I'm cool now. Yeah.
Excellent.
How are you?
Pretty much the same. A lot of things are kind of happening externally, and they're definitely affecting my day-to-day personally. Mm-hmm. So being okay with that and rolling with the flow, and just knowing that something's being cleared for something new to come in, hopefully, is always kind of where I'm at when things fall away. So yeah, same. Just trying to stay grounded in my own and really pay attention to the changes that are happening that are beyond my control, and just try to be okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you know more about what I'm talking about, so specifically. And I know more about what you're talking about specifically too. So I guess that's the best way we can generalize for everybody without, getting into the nitty gritty details.
Yeah, I feel like it might be the same general situation with different details for other people, like the feeling of it, our emotion of it is similar. It's just the details that are causing that are different, but I feel like it's the same. We're in the same place emotionally, basically, right?
Yeah, and for us, like for our own charts, they're happening in the two opposite axes.
Me
So,
too.
like Jess and my charts are mirror images of each other. So the eclipses are happening. Well, the one that just happened on yesterday was in my 6th house, but it was in your 12th. So our axes are getting hit in opposite ways. So it's just interesting to see how it's showing up for you and how it's showing up for me, and they're like kind of mirror images in a different way.
Yeah, and then also being able to be there for each other through it too. So
yeah.
I feel very grateful for that, for the whole sea goddess sisterhood and everything. So like having people that understand what's happening and just riding through it with you is very important. I think. I don't know if it would be so smooth. Well, smooth. Well, it would be rougher without you.
Yeah, the awareness around it definitely helps.
Yeah. It pays to have a bestie who's an astrologer, everyone.
And it pays to have a bestie who's super intuitive. Oh, love it. So we have Honora and Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for joining us and for asking for a reading. Do you want me to go first, Jess, or do you want to go first?
Either way, I'll pull some cards.
Okay, so you'll do Honora and I'll do Rachel, and I'll hop over and check Instagram while you're at it.
Sure. Okay. So I'm just drawn to the power deck, the animals, because in confusing energetic times like this deck is pretty straightforward. And sometimes that's just what people need. They don't want to have to like interpret things, Not me, I just mean, well, also me, but anyway. So Anura, the first one I got is the Lynx, which is discernment. Look beyond immediate appearances. I feel like this card could be for me as well, because whatever happens on the external front is a culmination of numerous things that are going on behind the scenes. Like if you're dealing with a person that is not agreeable, it took a bunch of different things to get them to that point and then to express outwardly whatever they're expressing. So knowing that what you're getting from someone or from the outside world is not exactly that, and it never will be exactly that. It is the person's interpretation, or the workplace or people, whatever it is. It's their interpretation of their own events in their personal lives that leads them to react to you how they're reacting to you. And usually it doesn't have much to do with you, which is hard to remember, I know. And then the second card I got is Cougar, standing for confidence. So be bold and take charge. So that makes me feel like it's very important to say what you actually mean, and let people know how you actually feel, because I think I said confusing times with this one. That just popped out of my mouth. So it's like it's important for you to be the one that is direct if other people are not being direct. You can cut through confusion by being brutally honest. That doesn't mean be mean, but it means be authentic with how you present yourself, because honestly, the only people we can control is ourselves. And so taking a minute to be mindful and say, do I really want to react like this? Is this how I really feel? And if so, then by all means. But if not, make sure that you express what you really mean to say and how you really feel. That is also to say after you've looked past the immediate circumstances. So after you can say to yourself, what might really be going on here? after you've done that, then you can respond in a more authentic way because you've removed some what's the word I'm looking for? Not exactly confusion, but you know how things get convoluted if there's a lot of emotion involved. This is a very emotional time for a lot of people because things are exploding, things are falling away, decisions are being made. Eclipses can be shocking periods of time. To put it could be shocking that the way people act, the things they say, the opportunities that come and go during this time. Just be very mindful of what you say, and what you put out into the world is what you actually want and feel. And to do that after you take a minute to say, what is really going on here? If someone is acting out of character, say to yourself, this can't really be, like, there is something behind everything that we get from other people, and we may have no clue what that is. And so making sure that you know what you're saying will be very important moving forward, like, because the eclipse season will end and then we'll be left with whatever has happened, you know. Cleanup is what I call it, kind of. Or like sweeping up I just picture like sweeping up a whatever and just like, okay, that broke, all right, that's still intact, you know. You'll be able to take stock, but you'll know that what you've put out is not as convoluted. And so that I just feel like that's good advice. And I hope that helped. Be bold and take charge of yourself. And because really that's all we can do, especially when people and things are like pretty wacky like they are right now. And if they're not wacky, bless you, and send some of that my way. But yeah, it seems like everywhere I look, some people are like going through all sorts of stuff that is either unexpected, or not what they thought, or not how they thought. Also, I feel like it's important to mention the how. Don't get tied up in the how of something, because the universe will bring it to us. You know, and trying to control how things happen is pointless, because the universe knows what it knows, and it'll bring things to you in ways that you might not expect. So just be open to changes happening, coming from all sources, instead of just how you feel like it should present itself. It might not come how you expected, but what you need will come. Just be open to the how. Yeah. Yep. That's what I got.
I put what she said up on the screen, but it kind of covered the whole screen. So I'll just read it. I'll read it for everybody's benefit. And also just hello to Mary Ann, Angelina, and Athena. I have you on the list. So thank you for showing up and asking for readings today. So she said, agree to disagree with people who are expecting me to become a people-pleasing personality. And I'm starting to set boundaries with toxic controller negativity, with others trying to take my personal power away from me. That is where we are at. I am the Cancer zodiac sign here, emotional, empathetic traits of water elements, tired of the projects of others who I label fake friends, abusers.
Reach into the choir.
Yeah. And she said, appreciate your readings. So that actually does explain a lot to the energies, and how, even though the eclipse that just happened and the full moon was in Aries and Libra, that's a square or a challenge to the other two cardinal signs, which are Cancer and Capricorn. So even though it didn't happen maybe in a certain area of your chart or on a natal planet, if you're in Aries or Libra, it'll still send challenging threshold type situation like this to the other signs that are in that 90-degree aspect. So thank you for mentioning that, Honora, because that helps us kind of explain that a little bit on a deeper level too. So important to know that, like, you know, how it all works in your chart.
Your piece is very important. It doesn't matter what other people want you to do.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, because
your whole
life. Your life is yours. And so people expecting you to be a people pleaser, nope. That's living your life for others. And it will only lead to, like, you know, resentment, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the biggest signatures energetically with this full moon and eclipse that just happened was like a closing of a chapter of releasing things that disturb your peace. And however that shows up is, I'm sure, and themes that may be repeating from 2005 in particular. So, yeah.
I moved to New Jersey in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
so there's definitely there's definitely cycles that are, themes could be repeating for you to take maybe a different action this time around, and that's how they work. They come and they hit certain parts of our charts with eclipses in particular every 18 and a half roughly years. So like in the same way energetically. That's so think back to that time and what was happening and what may be repeating since then or from then, and how you can maybe show up a little differently this time around.
That is so interesting. I can't believe you just threw that date out there like, boop. Like, what? That happened last time too, and I think it was 2008, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, Jess, I feel like what the cards that came out for Rachel are we're going to have a storyline written here, I think, with today's live readings, as usual. Uh-huh. So, Rachel, for you, I'm pulling from my Soul's Journey lesson cards, which we're still kind of in this Saturnian energy, bringing reality and responsibility to whatever's coming up right now. So I always use that deck for Saturnian energy, and my Peace Warrior deck, which I love pulling when we're in Libra and Aries energy, because that is the Peace Warrior to me. So from the Soul's Journey lesson cards, you got the Abundance card. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So, Jess, you were just talking about manifesting.
I'm all about that.
And just remember that abundance comes in many forms. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial abundance, which is what we tend to commonly associate it with. And this card is all mostly red. So that to me is all root chakra. So that relates very much to our sense of safety and security. So whatever is happening in your life, Rachel, that this is speaking to around that. There you go. So yeah. So abundance is one. And then Jess, as you were saying, remember how we talk to ourselves and to others, love talk. Release yourself and others from harsh judgment. And I think that this is a good reminder right now for the latter part of this statement. Actually, no, the former part of your statement. Release yourself from harsh judgment. Because when we're sticking up for ourselves, when we're releasing things, when we're setting boundaries, I think the guilt tends to creep in a little bit, because we're always in relationship to ourselves, to others, to our environment, whatever it is. And that was the tagline that I gave to the full moon and the eclipse yesterday, was in a relationship, quote unquote, hashtag. So just know that all that stuff is coming up to the surface right now in a very big way. Cosmically, energetically, with the full moon, all the things with the eclipse. So that is our primary focus personally and collectively right now also. So just remember, as Jess was saying, remember how you talk to yourself, remember how you talk to others. You can also not talk to yourself or others as well. Cutting people off isn't such a bad thing when you are releasing things that disturb your own sense of personal peace. So that is for you, Rachel. And I think for everybody.
We don't have our own personal peace. What do we even have? Like,
seriously.
What? I mean, I can't function without it. The work I'm trying to do, you can't. So, and it's not selfish to want to protect your own peace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the one that's been getting comments deleted on every live stream. I just wanted to throw that up there and just show everybody that I'm monitoring this.
About it.
Not blocking just yet, because I haven't seen anything that's not joking. Be kind of offensive. Anyway, so Jess, you've got, it's kind of funny. So if we stay funny, we're okay. I'll just keep deleting the comments and not blocking. Anyway, it's not a troll, thankfully. So we have Mary Ann, Angelina, and Athena. So if you want to pull for Mary Ann, I'll pull for Angelina, and then you can pull for Athena.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just going for the animals right
Yeah,
now.
so Mary Ann asked about love, I think. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Okay. So we have this. Whenever this one comes out, it's like super for real for me because this is a bird that is always up in my shiz, like for real. So I got the hawk, which is she stands for focus. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. And again, this could be for me. So the hawk's ability to hone in on something from like a mile up in the sky or something like that and then swoop down and get it, like literally eliminating everything else in the world except for like that. If you're asking about love, I think it's important for you to figure out what do you want? What do you need? Because sometimes what we think we want is not actually what we need. So I'm just gonna actually say what do you need instead of maybe what do you want, because this is a kind of a convoluted emotional time. And so depending on how other people are acting, we might get confused about what is it that we really want. We might cling to things that don't serve us because we don't want to be alone, but maybe we need to be alone because that will help us figure out other things or something like that. And then I also I love this little guy. Got turtle, the sea turtle. Retreat. So that goes with this. I feel like retreat as in go inside and ask yourself some real questions. Not harsh questions, but just like the reality, you know, what do you need? What do you need from a partner that you either are or are not getting? It says stop trying to make things happen. So I'm also feeling like the more you push something, you might be experiencing some resistance. So letting things flow how they will flow is extremely important right now. Letting things flow how they'll flow and taking note. Become the observer of your outside world and focus more on your inside world. Would be my advice as far as love. Now that could be inside of a relationship that already exists, or it can be in regards to what you're looking for in a relationship. I'm going to pull one more. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. That means put yourself first right now. What do you need from a love relationship? Oh, look at that. And so if you do these two things, get ready for a breakthrough, you know? Transformation. So you might be in the shift, just like the rest of us. Like the shift is shifting. So it's like I always say we're in the ing because it's like actively shifting. It's not like we're about to move into a transition. It's like no, we're in it. So the breakthrough will be when you like have these realizations, agree, trying to remove what doesn't. Yeah. So impatience really has no place right now. It will cause resistance. And it might even cause you to resist your own self. Like I have such a stubborn nature sometimes that I resist the things that I also know are what I need. If I get into the right or wrong headspace regarding it, however you want to look at it. So sometimes my strong will prevent me from receiving what I really need because I've got my mind set on how something should be. Like I was just saying, the how. I have to constantly remind myself that the universe knows. I know what I need. I know what I want. I have to leave the how up to the universe. It's our job to remain open and recognize the breadcrumbs to pick up or the steps to take. But it can become less overwhelming when you realize you really only have to find the next step. You don't have to have like the major future figured out. You just need to recognize the next step. And then the next step will fall into place after that, and so on and so on. That won't happen until you become clear, very clear on what you're looking for. That's when the people will drop into your life and you'll say, oh, or the people will fall out of your life because you are clear. And so the people who are not clear will fall away and you'll start vibing with a different type of person. And you have to, I don't like saying have to, but it's like letting go of the things that don't serve makes room for the things that do. That's the tough part because we cling to familiarity, we cling to comfort. Even if it's painful, familiarity feels safe. And so again, with the root chakra, it might be making us miserable, but we know what it is. So we feel safer in our misery, like sort of, you know, not, that might be a harsh word, but being uncomfortable, when one being uncomfortable becomes comfortable, something needs to change. And we are the only people that can change our own situation, you know? So the retreat with this turtle is not like, you know, become a hermit or whatever. I feel like it means it goes along with this as in listen to your, like, listen to yourself. But when my mind goes nuts, I turn it off and I listen to my body instead. Because my brain will always lie to me, but my body never will. So, if you change is hard. It's like my worst. I hate it too. I hate it too. My Taurus is just like no, never. But it if we're unhappy, it has to change because then again, who are you living your life for if you are not happy? Security security can be multiple different things. Being secure in your own beliefs is one type of security, which this card is representing. Being secure financially, that's one thing, but there are, just like there's multiple types of abundance, there are multiple types of security. Being secure with who you are and what you demand for yourself and what you will not settle for is very important to this transformation that you're going through. Like you're in it, you're going through it. And so it's very important for you to go inside. Stop trying to push. I'm feeling like you will only be met with resistance right now. Like just flow with it for now. A couple weeks, few weeks. And then after that, kind of take stock of what's gone on. And you can make a lot more sound, actual action step decisions after this convoluted emotional time has passed us by. I'm just for myself, the things that have been going on, I have decided that I'm just going to let it play out peacefully as possible. And then once I see that things are settled enough, that's when I'm going to start making decisions and outward action steps. And so I feel like that is good advice for you as well, given these cards here. It's like every single card that came up so far is like talking directly to him. So, I mean, I hope that helps. But I know you like security, but being secure in who you are and what you actually need is the type of security I feel like it would be most beneficial to focus on right now. Not what kind of security can someone else give me? What kind of security can I give myself? Emotional security, emotional safety. There's a lot to be said for that. Okay. Very important. I hope that helps. Whew. Man, the hawk. I'll probably see one in 10 minutes afterwards.
You probably will.
Yeah, be knocking on my window or something.
Thank you, Jess.
Yeah.
important things, and also personal shares to add to the messages for sure.
Yeah, I just want people to know that none of you folks are alone. It's like we're here doing the cards, but trust me, it's universal, and everybody's human, and everyone has multiple things going on. So yeah, we're with.
So I pulled 2 cards for Angelina. Angelina, I hope that you're still on, and if not, that you catch the replay. So from the Peace Warrior deck, the card that came out for you is number 16. And I love this message on this one. What's your frequency? Tune into your soul station.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've been kind of describing my own personal experience recently as like I feel like the dials have finally been tuned to my own frequency recently, like in the last 3 years in particular. So this is a really important message. And then just the little angel action message that comes with this one. Examine all the areas of your life and ask yourself what is working for and what is working against you. Be willing to make any changes that you feel guided to make. So there's the change word again. So then, as promised last week, the dragons have come out to play this week since we are officially in the dragon hole, was my astrology teacher calling it, the space between eclipses, the 2 weeks between eclipses. And I am 100% in agreement with that terminology of just everything that goes along with it. So, Angelina, the dragon card that came out for you is Green Gold Dragon from Sirius. Brings universal knowledge to your spiritual pathway, which is also kind of cool that it came out with the other card. Learn about spiritual technology. Be a transmitter of sacred knowledge. So that one's pretty cool too. One of the teachers that I've been really in tune with recently says that our bodies are esoteric technology, and we have all that we need right here in our own human physical form, like together as, body and spirit. So maybe tap into something. This is one of the higher realm dragons. This is from Diana Cooper's deck. This is one of the 7th dimensional dragons. So we can actually see Sirius in the sky right now, which is pretty cool. So we can always connect visually with the energy of the star or the planet, wherever the specific dragon is coming from. And that can be another way to connect, not only energetically, but visually. So I think this is pretty cool. And both cards in combination speak very much to, your own spiritual development, kind of where you are on your path right now. And maybe some higher energies and frequencies to tap into whatever's coming through for you at this time. Pretty cool.
Now I'm going to have to listen to What's the Frequency after this. That REM song.
The REM song. Nice.
Anyhow.
So I hope that those resonated, Angelina. You're welcome. Jess, we have Athena next.
Okay. Athena, what a name. Okay.
Wisdom.
Powerful stuff. All right. So I'm going to pull from the animal deck. Then I also have my dragon deck, which I forgot all about, but it's right here. Dragons are like, we shall not be forgotten. Okay. So, the dragon I pulled for you is so pretty. Air dragon. Helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope, see life from a higher perspective. So that is also right on in line with the other cards I've drawn for the other people here. Air dragons suggest you take things lightly, so choosing this card indicates you should relax and look at part of your life from a higher perspective. Air dragons inspire you to communicate honestly but lovingly in a way that calms and soothes everyone around you and promotes good outcomes. Honest communication will bring pure white light into your aura, and when this happens, everyone will trust and respect you. Blue air dragons are supporting you as you rise above your challenges. But also, look at the birds there. So it's like, I feel like maybe the bird thing is connected. So then I also, from the animal deck, drew the seal, which is imagination. Immerse yourself in artistic and creative expression. There is, in my life anyway, there is absolutely no better way for me to rise above the earthly nonsense than to get right into an art project. So, and then when I see this, it's interesting. I always somehow, so there's land here, there's land here, there's this thing, this barrier between here, but the seal's body connects them both. So I always see that as the way through the shit is a good art project. For me, just as like me being who I am or whatever. But so the creativity and personal expression is a way to immerse yourself in something that has absolutely nothing to do with the earthly nonsense that's going on, because it really is nonsense right now. Okay, let's be real. Some of it is just pointless, needless, but it's not pointless, needless because it's showing us things, right? So I just mean, like, some of us are just like, why can't we just? But not everyone is as evolved, and that's just the way it is. And so a good way to rise above it is to express yourself creatively, even if it's just a coloring book or do a drawing or a painting, or I'm drawn to say go make a mud pie for some reason. Just something. So my point is, use your imagination, because your imagination is a ticket out, like right away, and it's always there because it's in here and in here. And as a child, that was my ticket out of a lot of things that I shouldn't have had to deal with. And it was my imagination, it was books, it was art, it was music. Even if you're a musician or you just love music, it's dancing is also creative expression. Just think about all the types of arts: audio, visual, movement. So you've got this dragon guide helping you rise above the nonsense, brings inspiration, which we need inspiration to be creative. And so see life from a lighter perspective, like the whole zoom out thing. If there's someone in your life that's incredibly disagreeable, zoom out and say, there's things going on behind the scenes that are not it's not my bag, you know? So it'll help you just be more of an observer of the tougher things going on around you. And then take your energy from that and put it into something creative that makes you feel good, is a real good way to navigate this particular time. I hope that helps. I mean, communicating honestly is what this guy says too. So again, being authentic and making sure that what you say is what you mean, because a lot of people around us right now are not able to do that. And so some of the things that we might be having thrown at us are just not even how these other people actually feel. It could be a trauma response. It could be absolutely anything. It could be anything. So just know that you're only responsible for yourself, your own reactions, your own peace. And these cards are showing me that art or creative expression in some way is a ticket to that, to the zoom out perspective, to create some more lightness in your life. Do something that you would have loved to do as a child that made you happy. I guess that was the mud pie thing, because I used to love doing that. It's just showing me like the child part of it. Do something that would make little you happy, because I guarantee you it will make big you happy too. You'll inspire others by doing this as well. It will bring, if you are calm and other people's craziness doesn't affect you how they were hoping, or you don't get pulled into it, there's really no choice but for the energy around you to calm down, because there's no, there's no doorway into you. So it's just gonna reflect, just gonna go somewhere else. Take it somewhere else, So I hope that helps. Breathe. I feel like saying breathing is helpful. Box breathing, circular breathing, however you do it. Meditation is also a good way. But honestly, for me, gardening and art is how I meditate. So maybe like plant some seeds. It actually is the beginning of spring, so that could be something that might help you. Just like, it's grounding because you're literally in the soil, bringing life. Something like that. Could be helpful as well. So I hope that helps. And yeah, we're all here too. Oh yeah, art is a ticket. It really is. And I always feel super grateful to have that option, because I realize that not everybody is artistic, or not everyone feels like they have that outlet. And so just being able to translate my inner world into an outer piece is a gift that I often forget not everybody has. And so that brings me into a state of gratitude, which rewires the anxiety, just, it by its nature. And so yeah, everything's tied in, every single thing, every single thing. Oh yeah, go make something. You'll feel great. Yeah, me too. Mud pie. See, I knew I said it for a reason. It always comes up at the funniest times, right, Urs? I'm like, don't make a mud pie. I'm just like, what? No, do it. So yeah, I'm back on the mud pies, but it's
That
representative.
one really seems to resonate.
Like, if you didn't make a mud pie as a kid, I feel bad. Go make them now as an adult. Let's, I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad that helped. Oh, Kel. That's my Kelly. Oh, I've been holding space for her kitties, and she's a good friend of mine. I love you, Kel.
Oh. She popped on to say hi. Amanda popped on and said hi too. Hi, Amanda. Amanda, if you'd like a reading, let us know. If you're just hanging out, that's cool too. Aw. So cute.
Oh, Jojo right there. Thanks, Kelly.
All right. Aw, she said, love you, Jessie. So cute. Love it.
Nice. Okay.
So we got through the list that we've had so far. If there's time, you'll take a card. Okay, Amanda, I got you. So I did pull a general reading for everyone as well. And Nicole just popped on. Oh, we got a... Okay. Amanda, you got a jumper.
Love those.
That one surprised me. Okay, so Amanda, I'm pulling for you from Soul's Journey Lesson Cards and the Peace Warrior deck. So let's see. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for hopping on. If you would like a reading, just let us know. If you're hanging out, that's cool too. And then just a reminder to everybody while I'm shuffling for Amanda, we have our virtual tip jar, and that link is right in the description for today. Tips are always appreciated, not required. It's our gift to you all, but we also appreciate that as well. So I had that up on the screen before I hopped on to Nicole or to Amanda's comment. And yes, Nicole would like a card too, Jess. So she is up next. So we got a jumper for Amanda, and now this one's taking forever. Let's see. Oh my! I've been pulling this card so much lately. It's kind of crazy. All right. Amanda, your jumper from the Soul's Journey Lesson Cards. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocked the flow of love.
Oh.
This is so much speaking to creativity. That orange color I associate or is associated with our sacral chakras. So I always pay attention to the colors on these cards in particular. So we've got all the blue swirls in there. So like the light blue, the darker blue, and the purples are all upper chakras, so throat, third eye, and crown. But then that ties, in particular in this message, to your sacral. And as women, we harbor a lot of that in our womb space. So this could be a message to dive a little bit more deeply into the creativity message that Jess was already speaking about just before we moved on and pulled cards for you, but also just to remember that this can be a message for forgiving yourself, but also for forgiving others, whatever that speaks to for you. And then the Peace Warrior card that you got, the pages in between, create the story you want to read. So creativity, but also womb healing in the colors on the forgiveness card. And then just remember that we write our own story. So I think that this speaks to a lot of the messages that we've already been covering today, as far as stay in your lane, hold your ground. Remember that you are the creator of your story. And if there's other people influencing it, disturbing your peace, then it might be time to hit the pause button on them or just let them go completely. So that is the message for you today, Amanda.
And that one was green, so I'm drawn to saying that's heart.
Heart.
What, create the story. Ask your heart,
Mm-hmm.
I got a little emotional there for a sec because it's intense.
This definitely speaks to something in particular, I think.
It's for real.
It's like bittersweet.
Yeah. Okay. Who?
You have Nicole.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nicole. So I drew, which is very interesting. Dragon, I drew the magenta dragon, which I'm just going to show you. I have one sitting here right in front of me. I'm like, okay, hi. Always. Anyway. Okay. Magenta dragon enables you to bring forward your soul wisdom, awaken your soul memories and higher spiritual understanding, and prepare for accelerated ascension. This is a card of accelerated ascension. A magenta dragon is here to remind you that you are an illumined soul carrying much wisdom. It is helping you to dissolve any remaining veils of illusion and preparing you to become an enlightened one. It has come to you now to remind you that all is love, for we are all one. It is time to see all things with the wise inner eyes of truth. Treat everyone as if they were you. Your guidance is to sit quietly with your magenta dragon and allow the door to your vast soul memories to open. When you reveal to yourself who you truly are, you will help to bring forward the As soon as magenta dragons connect with us, they prepare us to remember our unique role in this universe. They place us in an extraordinary, deep pink flame of love, higher spiritual understanding, and wisdom. They help us recognize who we truly are and bring forward our unique soul wisdom. So, again, that feels really right in line with who are we really? And what do we really want for our own selves? And it's hard to let go of distractions that prevent us from finding out that information. There's so much external chatter from outside sources, but also our brains. Like I was saying earlier, my brain will always lie, but my body never, ever does. And so the creativity thing is a way through it, because no one else is going to create something just like that, And so a way to access your soul memories and access your soul wisdom, this second card that I drew is the dolphin. Take time to play, which ties right into little Nicole, little Jess, little Urs. What would have made us happy when we were little? Do it now. because I guarantee you it will make you happy now too. And it doesn't matter if it seems stupid or immature, because who cares? Those are other people's ideas, not ours. So I feel like for you, a ticket into your soul wisdom would be doing something just for the pure joy of it. And that can include creativity, of course. But it's really about taking the time to do some things that is purely to make you happy. And while you're doing those things, I promise that you will access parts of yourself that you probably had forgotten about, or maybe even never knew about. Like in this lifetime, I mean, because our soul carries things through, of course. So a way to access it is through play, because that's pure joy. And if we're in pure joy, that really is our true state, I feel, or it should be anyway. And it's 3D earth stuff that kind of prevents us from that. So it might seem counterproductive to do something frivolous, right? Or what some would call frivolous. But I actually feel like it is the ticket to the accelerated ascension and accelerated progress that we're looking for. So while in a 3D world, doing something frivolous or playful might seem counterproductive to progress, I personally feel it's actually the quickest shortcut to such things. Because the 3D world places value on things that really have no meaning outside of this place. And if you believe that we're all higher spiritual beings and that our souls are infinite, you'll understand what I'm saying. This is just a stop. This is a stop on our travels, So do something that makes you happy. Go make a mud pie. Sorry. But I also find it interesting that I drew a sea turtle and a dolphin, and here we are as sea goddess healing arts, So the water is important, and like the flow of water. And you know how you get into water and gravity like doesn't exist in the same way? I feel like that's a message too. So inside creativity, inside playfulness, the heaviness of life does not exist. And so I'm not saying you have to go swimming or whatever, but it's just like metaphorically showing me that inside of these concepts, we are weightless, and that the 3D earth bullshit, pardon my language, has no place. There's nowhere for it to settle because the elements are different. So, man, I hope that helped. Man, I'm kind of in awe, but I do say that every week. But for real, you guys, let's just go be kids, Make time to be a kid. And pay attention how children react to things. Every single thing is wonderful until you tell them it's not, So, yeah, tap into that innocence and look at the world with wonder like we used to. Before we were told we were silly or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Conditioned out of it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and that it's interesting, all the sea animals that came up today, Jess, because the rulers of both eclipses, so yesterday's, but also the one coming on Monday the 8th, are in Pisces at the time of the eclipse.
No wonder.
So that makes the energies are definitely infused with that Piscean, oceanic surrender flow, being in a different state kind of energy anyway. So
I felt like the water element was important. And although I'm an earth sign, I have a lot of water going on too. So that kind of makes sense here as well. Mm-hmm. And Pisces is the most emotional bees there are. So like there's that too.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Whew.
All right. So we will wrap it up today with Kelly. And I pulled for Kelly. And Kelly, for you, from the Soul's Journey Lesson cards deck, the Regret card came out. I know that I cannot change the past is the message on that one. And this one too is all primarily lower chakras. So we've got solar plexus with the yellows are your seat of personal power, and then orange, sacral, and then red with the root. So there's definitely some rewiring and reworking going on with those parts of the body that's kind of threaded through everyone's messages today. And the creativity and the feelings of safety and security as well. And then we got another root and solar plexus dragon that came out for you, Kelly. Thor's red, black, and gold dragon protects you in times of change, a time of rapid transition and transformation. Relax, you are safe.
My goodness.
Yeah. So these two speak very, very much to all of that lower primal energy that we have in the lower parts of our body. And black and red both correspond to the root chakra. And just remember that you can call on your dragons for protection. You can call on your personal dragons, but also the dragon realm in general. You can ask them to surround and go kind of ahead of you in spaces where you're maybe traveling into, or like this time, especially between eclipses, these 2 weeks can feel extra chaotic. So times of change is definitely something that is a message that I think is speaking to that in general. And just staying, it's okay to grieve the change. I was in my own process of that a little bit yesterday with some changes that I have going on. Honor the emotions that are coming up, but don't regret things. Regret is one of those lower vibration emotions. So that can kind of stay stuck in our bodies to an extent. So just make sure that you're emoting and moving the energy through whatever's coming up. And remember that you can call on your angels and dragons for protection through the process as well. If you need like a little protective cocoon, you can call on Thor and Thor's red, black dragon, or red, black, and gold dragon. And remember that you are safe.
Those colors are exactly the same, those cards. And I also want to
Yeah.
mention that the darker colored dragons, they tend to clear density ahead of us. Like, so I see the black in that dragon. So if you want to call on him in particular, or just, darker colored dragon, that's their jam. They go ahead of us and clear out the density. I'll say that instead of cursing. But
yeah, you can send your guides and your dragons and your angels ahead also,
yeah.
like in time dimensions too, like not just physical space or energetic space, but they can kind of go, they travel through all that.
Dragons be weaving.
Yep, totally. We're about to write about that.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome, Kelly.
Love
Big
ya.
love. No. Okay, Jess. It is almost 12:30. We made it through our list. I did earlier pull a general reading, so should we just kind of go over this one and then wrap it up for today?
Yeah, I want to know. What is it?
Yeah. So, surrender.
Oh.
I can release my need to control, which is a really good message for a good mic drop moment for today's live, for this time between the eclipses, since we won't be back with you all until sometime in April at some point after the second eclipse. So just remember, the eclipses bring change. This is how they work. So the last one was in the fall of last year, was our last eclipse season and pair of eclipses. We are right in the thick of the first ones for 2024. And also Mercury Retrograde will be flavoring the whole experience this time around. So it's important to, resistance is futile. Maybe not necessarily time to act upon things at the moment, or for like pretty much the whole month of April. Just surrender, pay very close attention to what's the change, what are the changes that are coming in. And then on the other side of it, like Jess said, we have the broom and we have the cleanup crew and IOU, and it's kind of time to let the dust settle and address and integrate. So on the other side, it's the integration phase, which is what she was really referring to.
Yeah.
So the dragon card, which is interesting as we are in Holy Week, white gold dragon from Lyra, connects you to the highest Christ light. Develop your causal chakra. Bathe in ninth dimensional Christ light. So that one's pretty cool.
That's beautiful.
The message for today as well. Yeah, I mean, all this chaos and the changes and all the things that happen during these times are really ultimately to get you more on your own personal path. So just know that there is a higher frequency at
Yeah.
work, and
Your
your
own
higher self,
like that
your own
other.
frequency, tuning into your own frequency, exactly. So that is the ultimate purpose of all of this, even though oftentimes it can feel really hard.
Just don't let other people or outside situations dictate your own life to you, because we're here to be ourselves and we each have unique things to offer. So that's my overall advice. You are living your own life. And
Yeah.
so make choices for what, who you really are inside. Sometimes it
Yep.
takes getting quiet to hear that, to hear ourselves, but it's important to do. And now's the time. Yeah.
The time is now.
Sure. We're in the
Yep.
dragon hole.
So we are in the dragon hole. Kudos to my astrology teacher for that term. And perfectly encapsulating and describing everything that goes along with that. So yeah, everyone remember our virtual tip jar if you can and are feeling called to give us a little donation for today if you valued your reading or value our live shows in general. The link for that is in the description, but also at the bottom of our homepage, seegoddesshealingarts.com. And then just a reminder, we have 2 coupon codes that will expire on Sunday at midnight or Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And those are 20% off across the board, all things Sea Goddess, with the exception of our merchandise and our Soul Garden membership. So those 2 codes are there. They're also in the description. And we'll be sending out one final email with those codes again to our entire email list tomorrow morning.
And we'll have a new coming very soon.
Yes. Yes, we will.
So.
And we will be writing about reweaving, and that'll be our topic for April. And that'll go out exclusively to Soul Garden members for the first 2 weeks of April, and then to everybody on the 15th. So we'll definitely include some personal guidance and information about those energies in general, but also kind of how we're navigating them. And then I did release a Astro-Weather Check on Friday. So if you want to dive more deeply into the lunar eclipse that just happened and the cosmic energies in general, that is there also in the episode description, but you can find it on our YouTube channel as well and on Spotify in my podcast feed, Becoming Chiron. And that's about a 45-minute video episode where we look at the chart and I really talk about everything influencing the energies right now. So that's all I got, Jess. What about you?
Yep. Nope. See you on the other side.
Yeah. We'll be back and we'll let you know if we are changing anything in April. And if not, maybe some upcoming changes in the month of May. But we will see you all in a couple weeks, most likely. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to everyone who joined on Instagram, and we will see you next time. Bye.